My brother demanded that I pay for his wedding just because I made more money. When I said no, he shamed me on social media, calling me a greedy sister. At the wedding, he announced in front of everyone, "Let them all thank my sister for funding this," making all eyes turn to me. I then stood up and said, "Actually, here's the truth." His bride looked shocked. I never thought I'd have to share this, but here we are. A bit of background: I'm a 34-year-old woman and the oldest of three. My younger brother, Luke, 31, was always treated like the favorite. Our parents, who had him later in life, spoiled him while expecting me to be responsible and independent. When we were kids, he got the bigger bedroom, and I had to share my birthday gifts. Later, when it was time for college, our parents paid for his tuition but not mine, saying, "You're a girl, you'll get married and be taken care of." So I had to work part-time and take out loans, while Luke partied and traveled with our parents' money. Now, I have a good tech job making 6 figures, own my home, and live comfortably. Meanwhile, Luke has had many jobs, has no savings, and still expects everyone to pay for his lifestyle. The wedding drama started a few months ago when Luke and his fiancée, Sarah, 29, announced they were getting married. I congratulated them and sent a gift, thinking that was the end of it. But then Luke called me out of the blue. "Hey, Sarah and I are looking at venues and they're expensive." "Yeah, weddings can be pricey," I said. He replied, "Since you make so much more money than me, it would be fair if you helped pay for the venue and catering." I laughed because I thought he was joking. "Luke, I'm not paying for your wedding," I said. He got angry, saying, "Are you serious? You make plenty of money." I explained, "That's not the point." He then tried to guilt-trip me, saying, "Mom and Dad can't help us, and Sarah's parents aren't rich. Family should support each other, especially when you have money while I'm struggling." I shut that down, reminding him that our parents paid for his college but not mine. I told him, "You're not entitled to my money." He exploded, calling me selfish and greedy. After our call, he posted on Facebook, complaining about how I wouldn't help and saying that family values money over love. Our family got involved, with some people taking Luke's side and others sympathizing with me. Sarah said nothing, leaving me angry but quiet. At the wedding, even though I was upset, I attended and planned to leave early. The ceremony was beautiful, but then at the reception, Luke took the microphone and said, "Can we all thank my sister for making this wedding possible?" Everyone clapped, and all eyes were on me. I knew I hadn't given him any money. I stood up and said, "Actually, here's the truth." The room went quiet as Luke's face fell. I told everyone, I did not pay a single cent for this wedding. Luke asked me to, and when I refused, he called me greedy and even posted about it on Facebook. Guests gasped and started whispering. I continued, "He wanted me to pay for everything, venue, catering, everything, because he thought he deserved my money." At this point, Sarah's face turned from shock to anger. Before Luke could respond, Sarah asked, "Is this true?" I replied, "Every word." Luke tried to take the mic back, but it was too late. Sarah's parents, who were sitting nearby, looked angry. One of them stood up and said, "You told us your sister insisted on paying for the wedding." Sarah's mother whispered to Sarah, "Yes, it's true," making Sarah even more upset. Luke nervously tried to explain, "Okay, I asked my sister because she has the money, and we're family." Sarah's father stepped forward, clearly upset, and said, "So you lied to us? You made us think she backed out?" Seeing Luke trapped with no good excuse, Sarah's mother said, "We paid for half of this wedding under false pretenses. This isn't a wedding, it's a con." She apologized to me, saying we should have talked before believing Luke. I nodded, but I focused on Sarah, who stared at Luke like she didn't even know him anymore. Then Sarah took off her veil. Luke panicked and pleaded, "Sarah, don't do this, we can talk later." But Sarah replied calmly, "What else? Have you lied about anything else?" When Luke laughed nervously and said it was just a small mistake, Sarah turned to me and asked, "How much did he ask you for?" I answered, "The full wedding, venue, catering, dress, everything." The room gasped again. Someone even choked on their drink. Sarah's mother made a disgusted sound, and Sarah took off her engagement ring and placed it on the table. "I'm done," she said. The room erupted into chaos. Luke began begging, "Sarah, please, we love each other." But Sarah responded, "Love? You don't love me, you wanted my money, your parents' money, and my sister's money. That's not love." Then Sarah's father turned to Luke's parents, and the real arguments began. "We'll talk about the money you owe us later." Then he turned to Sarah and said, "Let it go." And suddenly, half the wedding party left. Everything fell apart right then. Luke stood there shocked and angry. He glared at me and said, "You did this." I grabbed my purse, smirked, and replied, "No, Luke, you did this." And then I left too. Later, I learned the night got even worse for him. The venue still needed to be paid, and Sarah's parents refused to cover it. Many guests stopped giving gifts when they learned the truth. Some of Sarah's family even demanded refunds for their travel expenses. Luke's groomsmen scolded him for lying, and his best friend ended their friendship after realizing how he had manipulated everyone. And the worst part? Sarah's parents got a lawyer. They had spent thousands on the wedding under false promises, and now they wanted their money back. I also heard that Luke tried to get help from my parents. He said, "My father refused. My mother cried but wouldn't help." In the end, Luke had to take out a loan to pay for the wedding, and he's still struggling to pay it off. More than a year later, Sarah is happily engaged to someone else, a great guy, or so I hear. Luke, on the other hand, is still bitter and blames me for his ruined wedding, but the truth is, he ruined it all himself, and I have no regrets. You'd think that after all the public humiliation, the failed wedding, and Sarah walking out, Luke would have learned his lesson, but he didn't. Instead, he spent the next few months trying to get revenge on me. Twist 1, the fake victim act. Luke went back on Facebook with a new story. This time, he claimed that I ruined his wedding out of jealousy. He made himself look like a poor, hard-working man who only wanted to marry the woman he loved, while painting me as a bitter, greedy sister who sabotaged everything. He left out the part where he tried to scam me into paying, and many family members who always favored him believed his version. My inbox was filled with messages from relatives I hadn't talked to in years, saying things like, "How could you do this to your own brother? You embarrassed him in front of everyone. What's a little wedding cost to you?" One even said, "You'll die alone with all that money and no family." Charming, right? Twist 2, Sarah fires back. Sarah had stayed quiet since the wedding until she saw Luke's lies online. She commented on his post, "You're still lying. Let's set the record straight." Then she explained everything. She confirmed that Luke had lied to her parents about my involvement, admitted he had asked her parents for money after I said no, and revealed that he had even borrowed money from her before the wedding, money he never paid back. Then she dropped the bomb, "By the way, Luke, maybe tell your family why I really left. Should I post the screenshots?" I knew then she had all the proof. Twist 3, the secret side chick. It turned out Luke wasn't only a liar and a manipulator, he was also cheating. Sarah had proof, texts, screenshots, even a Venmo transaction, that showed Luke had sent money to another woman the night before the wedding. She only found out after the wedding was cancelled, and though she kept quiet for a while, she finally spoke up. Luke deleted his post quickly, but Sarah's comment was already shared in many family group chats. People were furious. Sarah's parents even began suing him for the wedding money. My parents were ashamed but still tried to excuse him. Luke became so stressed that even his extended family turned against him. And the other woman? She had no idea he was engaged, and when she found out, she broke things off with him too. Twist 4, the final blow. Luke's life spiraled out of control. He was drowning in wedding debt. His reputation was ruined, and he was completely alone. Then one day, I got a text from him. "Luke, I know we haven't talked in a while. Can we meet? I need your help." I ignored it. A week later, another message came. "Luke, I'm serious. I need a loan, just enough to get back on my feet." I ignored it again. Then came the final message. "Luke, if you don't help me, you're dead to me." That made me laugh. He was already dead to me. I never replied, and I never heard from him again. Final update. Sarah is happily married to someone else and expecting her first child. Luke is still struggling. He burned too many bridges. The last I heard, he was doing odd jobs, moving from one place to another, while I'm living my best life surrounded by people who respect me. And to anyone who thinks I should have just paid for the wedding, Luke's life shows that some people simply don't deserve help. I thought that was the end of it. Luke had ruined his own life, and I had moved on, but then he tried one last desperate move to drag me down with him. A few months after the wedding disaster, my mom called. I almost didn't answer because I knew it would be about Luke. I was right. She said, "Honey, he's struggling. He lost his job, and his landlord is kicking him out. He just needs a little help." I sighed and said, "What do you want me to do? He's your brother. Can't you let him stay with you for a while?" I laughed, not sarcastically, but really, you want me to let him stay in my house? The same brother who tried to humiliate me in public, called me greedy, lied about me, and cheated on his fiancée? That brother, Mom, has learned nothing. I knew it was a lie, so I asked, has he apologized? There was silence. Then, a week later, my mom called again. He's embarrassed, she said, and told me everything. He still thinks I owe him. I told her, he can figure it out like I did. I'm done, and I hung up. Luke's big mistake wasn't over. Apparently, that wasn't enough for him because not even a week later, I got an email from HR with the subject, urgent, fraudulent complaint. When I opened it, my stomach dropped. Someone had sent an email to my company claiming I was involved in financial misconduct and had bullied people at work. They even attached fake screenshots of emails showing shady deals. The screenshots were obviously fake, wrong fonts, incorrect dates, and even one email had my name spelled wrong. HR flagged it as fraud, but I wasn't going to let it slide. I wanted to know who did this. I had a friend in IT security trace the IP address of the sender. Guess what? It was Luke. That was the moment I decided to fight back and finish this. I took 3 actions. I filed a police report. I gathered all the evidence, emails, the IP address, proof, and reported Luke for fraud and defamation. The police contacted him, and he panicked. I told his landlord everything. I reached out to his landlord, someone I know, small world, and mentioned that Luke was under police investigation. The landlord didn't wait until the end of the month. Luke was kicked out within a week. I sent the proof to Sarah's parents. I wanted to make sure Luke would never come back to them. I sent everything, his fake complaint, the police report, and a statement from my company confirming the fraud. Sarah's parents replied, "We'll make sure no one in our circle ever helps him again." That meant no money, no connections, nothing. That was the final blow. With nowhere to go, no money, and a fraud case hanging over him, Luke tried one last time to beg. He called me. "Luke, please, I messed up. I'll do anything, just let me stay for a few days." I let him speak for a moment, then said the most satisfying words of my life, "You're dead to me," and hung up. After that, Luke vanished. No one in the family has heard from him in over a year. Last I heard, he was moving from friend to friend, burning bridges along the way. Meanwhile, I'm thriving, living my best life with no regrets. Final thoughts. Some people say family is forever, but not when they try to destroy you. Luke thought he could use me, steal from me, ruin my career, and get away with it. Instead, he lost everything, and honestly, I'm finally at peace. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more great stories. Don't forget to tap the notification bell, so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. See you next time, and take care.